Ugh.
Man, what a weekend in the English Football League, Hiram. Aren't we both terribly excited about all of this action?
Oh, absolutely.
We just can't wait to dive into the ins and outs of the motherfucking lower divisions. And if you're ready for that too, we could go ahead and start the show.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Houston. Sam Houston? Arsenal fans have another Sam. AKA the fucking Gooner Ram. Smoke of the Lord. Let's trade in shorts. Sam Grammy. Sam Graham.
Hello and welcome to the D Football Show Does EFL. I fucked that up as well. A completely biased brief recap of the English Football League as told by two common American schmucks. I'm missing all of the posts because I can't hear the fucking music because we are remote. That's how it works. I'm your host, Sam Graham, and across the way from me is young hot freshness, Mr. Hiram Rainway. How are you doing, sir?
I am doing great. I have myself on mute, but I am doing great.
This is what a fucking quality thing we're doing. As always, of course, Mel's on the ones and twos. Producer Mel, how are you?
I mean, you realize I'm just was fading out the music, so there was no post to miss on that section.
Whatever, man. I couldn't hear it anyway. So the fact that you turned it down doesn't matter. Anyway, we are recording at the DU Public House just outside our nation's capital. You can find us wherever you get your podcasts, and you can watch us live every Monday night. Should you want to chat with us, there are many ways you can do so. I'll just do it because Hiram fucked it up last time. At
Yep.
DU Football Show on social medias and DUFootballShow at gmail.com to get in touch via email. Make sure you're streaming us all over the socials. Everything basically except X because I'm not paying the goddamn musketeer. That's not happening. All right. So we've got a lot of action to get through here in the lower leagues of English football. We have a big ups. Oh, by the way, sorry, excuse me. We're drinking the same shit that we were last show because that's how this show rolls. So listen to the main show, and you'll get what we drank. Perf. We had a big upset to start the championship as Plymouth got their first win of the season, beating Sunderland, of all people, 3-0, which is absolutely fucking wild. Sunderland, obviously sitting in second place, Hiram, with a +8 goal differential after this 3-0 loss on 12 points. And Plymouth dragging themselves up to 16th spot with their first win. After the 3-0 win, still a -4 goal differential for Wayne Rooney's boys down there on the South Coast. What a wild result. What do you think about that?
uh Something I didn't expect for sure, mainly because I hearing good things about Sunderland, especially because of I believe Joe Bellingham is probably like one of their best rising stars, at least for the club as well too. But for them to go down 3-0 was a bit of a surprise for sure, especially coming from a Plymouth team who is coached by one Rain Rooney. I definitely think I said that right. Uh,
Rain Rooney.
yep.
You sound like fucking Scooby Doo. Rain Rooney.
um, yeah, it's definitely just surprising overall because one, I don't know, it's just it just threw me off for sure. I got nothing from that. That's it.
Well, I mean, Plymouth haven't started the season particularly well, right? I mean, they've got a couple of draws, but most of their performances haven't particularly been eye catching, right?
No.
On the flip side of that, Sunderland started 4-0, right? I mean, they were flying. Plus 11 in those first 4 games, and then obviously losing this one 3-0 is a bit crazy, to be completely honest. But Wayne hopefully turning it around. He's dragged them out of the relegation zone. They're looking up. They've gotten 2 draws and a win in the last 3. I'm kind of liking it. That result, though, coupled with West Brom beating Pompey, also 3-0. Sad for our Pompey boys. That moves the Baggies into first place because of the Sunderland drop points. And West Brom, boing boing, as they say in those parts of the world, is something I don't really want to see, to be completely honest with you. I'm not happy with it. I don't like West Brom. I don't really want to see them back, and I hope this early season starts to falter.
I agree. Simply because I still hold a grudge against them from the pandemic years when a very, very fucked up match happened that led to us losing 5-2. But we don't want to talk about that no more, so we're just gonna move on.
Was that Big Sam in charge then, wasn't
It might have been, I think.
it? That's hot. That's hot. Burnley beat Leeds at Ellen Road 1-0. That moved the Clarets into 4th, just behind Blackburn, with Watford and Blades rounding out the rest of the playoff spots at this early stage. Leeds do fall to 9th despite their first loss of the season. Too many draws in there for Leeds. Also getting the same as Wayne Rooney's Plymouth with 2 draws to start the year off. Hull, Pompey, and Cardiff round out the drop spots, but as high as 12th are only 3 points away from safety at this very early stage. We all know, Hiram, there's over 7,000 games left to play in the championship, so there's a lot to play for. I mean, Millwall, who had a pretty good showing last season, are on a 0 goal differential with a 1-1-3 record. You've got Luton on 1-1-3. They were missing their goalkeeper for a couple of games because of a couple of absolutely insane challenges. Middlesbrough, who were in the playoffs, I think, last season, 2-2-1 at the moment. Leeds 2-2-1. I mean, it's too early to really do anything in this league just yet. Some notables, though, climbing the table. You have Watford up there at 3-1-1, who we haven't seen for a couple of seasons, really pushing the top of the table. And you've got Oxford United, which is my surprise package here, at 3-0-2 to start the season with a +3 goal differential. And Derby actually just behind them with a +2 goal differential in the same record. Derby obviously had their financial issues. Wayne Rooney in charge of them a few seasons ago. Just a very, very kind of surprising beginning to the season for those few clubs. We move on to League One. Wrexham still currently sit top of League One as Stockport has drawn 2 straight games. Charlton and Huddersfield Town also have leapfrogged Stockport as well. What do you make of Wrexham in these early stages here, Hiram? I think they're the real deal. I think they can go back-to-back promotions. Back-to-back promotions and find themselves in the championship way ahead of schedule.
I think they're definitely on a Luton run for sure because they've been nonstop ever since, of course, the purchase of the club many years ago now. Well, not many, it was probably less than 5 years ago, but even still, like ever since that acquisition from Deadpool and that funny guy from Always Sunny or whatever, they pretty much has been leveling up in talent. And of course, when you have like people like Mullins, who are of course picking fights with Birmingham City players, and you have Tom Brady in the booth just clapping along like he's just a fucking big fan of everything. It makes it interesting for sure. But then again, Wrexham, they've been a team to beat in an entire EFL for the last 2 seasons now because they've been nonstop on the roll, just looking for more ways to, of course, get to the Prem, which I believe it might not have happened in many years. I might be mistaken. That is some very deep history I had to look into. But um, yeah, all in all, I think they definitely do have a shot at making it to the championship. And if they were to even make it to the championship, I know we're looking far ahead into it. I think they do have a run to even make it to the Prem within the next 2 to 3 seasons.
Yeah, I mean the amount of money that's been injected into the club with the show, with the, if they were smart, following kind of your club's kind of model,
Mm,
all of these assets that McElhenney and Reynolds have brought into the club, right? With the television show, the sponsorship deals, the all of these things, those contracts and those rights will be owned by the club itself. So the money generated from them will be on their books,
yeah,
right? Smart, right? Which why a football club needs to own 3 hotels, I'll never understand. You know what I'm saying? If that, the comparison isn't it's a touch apples to oranges, but I'm talking about ownership of things outside of football that add to those books for those PSR situations, right?
right.
And Chelsea have been the masters of that over the last couple of seasons. Obviously, with old Bolzer in charge there, old Bolsey. But the I think they could do it. There's so much momentum. There's so much good feeling around the club at Wrexham. I think they really could ride that wave and find themselves on a triple promotion in 3 years back into the championship and bring proper football back to that lovely little town of Wrexham. Leighton Orient are finally on the board with a win over Reading. They're still in 22nd though, along with Shrewsbury and Cambridge, and a surprise Bolton. Bolton obviously pushing for promotion last season, find themselves in a relegation spot in League One this season. Couple that with a 4-0, a couple of 4-0 victories as Huddersfield beat Bolton there and Wigan beat Bristol Rovers. I think Bolton will figure it out personally. I don't really see them having a problem. Like I said, they were near the tops of the table and in the playoff spots last season. I don't think they're gonna have that much of a drop off. I don't remember them selling too many pieces off. Wigan, you're always going to expect them to be kind of down there. They don't have a ton of investment. It's a bit of a shame for them. Now, if you compare Birmingham City's Tom Brady with Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney, and just the wit, the down to earthness of those two lads in Wrexham versus Tom Brady, who couldn't even handle a roast he signed up for. Do we have the same sort of public relation feel in those two towns? I don't think so.
It's
Certainly.
it's definitely not prevalent for sure. I don't know, it's because it's not seeing the public eye, especially compared to where you just have Tom Brady, who's a big name, at least an American name. I'm not sure if he's like a global superstar like that, even though he is a future Hall of Famer and everything. But
Yeah,
there's
but
that.
we only care about that.
That's what I'm saying.
That's yeah.
But you have that, whereas like with Wrexham, you have a TV show where people can connect with not only the owners but also the people of Wrexham, the club of Wrexham as well too. So it definitely is two different styles that kind of show like how the connection goes with the owners for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with that. We move on to League Two. And Accrington Stanley is still looking for their first win of the season as they lost to Crewe Alexandra 1-0 and now sit in the drop zone. And that is not where we want Aki to be, obviously.
No, of course, I've heard from previous times here on the show, like we definitely want to keep Aki staying up so we can keep talking about them as well. But I'm sure you guys will still find a way to mention them, even if it is the National League or not. Just
If there's one thing we know how to do is shoehorn something in.
there you go.
Yeah, very good at that. You're absolutely right. But obviously, for our friend Ben Kay, the best groundsman in all of England, we want Aki to be doing well. And this is not great. But as Sam wrote these notes, and I'm just now reading them for the first time. Better news is he did me a solid here. Better news is Gillingham lost over the international break, and despite winning this weekend, they're now in second place. So the Gills, my artificial biggest rival. I fucking hate Gillingham, based on a fictional football team podcast I listened to 3 years ago. I can't stand Gillingham, and it's only because of that show. They're now in second place behind Notts County, another storied old club. That financially has just not been able to cut the mustard and find themselves in League Two yet again. The promoted sides, Chesterfield, are in 11th after beating Grimsby Town, and Bromley is in 15th after drawing Colchester 1-1. So League Two is shaping out to not be very exciting for the DU football show, to be honest, especially with Gillingham sitting in second. I don't like that at all. It's better than first, but I still don't like it. Really don't want them to get promoted. We need Aki to start doing a bit better. Notts County winning that league, I'd be okay with that. That's fine. But yeah, so that rounds out our EFL action this past weekend and a touch over the international break. Hiram, you have any parting words, my friend?
Go Aki.
Aki. And also, let's go, you Leighton Orient, the entire country's second team. Thank you for joining us here on DU Does EFL. Got it right that time. Thank you very much. I do learn my lessons. At DU Football Show on all the social medias and dufootballshow@gmail.com to get in touch. Make sure you're finding our Patreon, patreon.com/DU Football Show to find what's coming up next. And that is Injury Time, our preview, of the upcoming weekend action in the Premier League. And we hope to see you on Thursday when that show's released. And if we don't, we'll definitely see you next Monday. Streaming live on all your major platforms, except for the Musketeers, because I ain't paying that cut. Thank you, everyone, and have a wonderful evening. Good night. Hiram says